Most people think they chose their cat. They didn't. Let me explain. Think about where your cat is right now. It is probably watching you. Not staring, watching. The specific, patient attention of something that has been studying you for longer than you realize. It knows when you are about to get up before you do. It knows which sounds mean food is coming. It knows exactly how long to sit beside you before you reach out. Most cat owners describe the same feeling, that their cat understands them in a way that feels almost too precise, that it knows what you need before you've decided you need it. Most people assume that is affection. It isn't. Or rather, it isn't only that. What your cat is actually doing is one of the most sophisticated long-term behavioral strategies documented in any domesticated species, and it has been running for 10,000 years. Cats did not become domesticated the way other animals did. Dogs were bred, horses were captured and trained, cattle and sheep were controlled across generations by humans who decided what traits to keep. Cats domesticated themselves. Around 10,000 years ago, humans in the Fertile Crescent began storing grain. Grain attracted rodents. Rodents attracted wildcats. And some of those wildcats discovered something the others had not, that the humans were not a threat. That proximity to humans meant a reliable food supply, warmth, and protection from larger predators. The wildcats that could tolerate human presence thrived. The ones that couldn't stayed in the forest. Nobody trained the cats that stayed. They chose to stay. And over thousands of generations, the cats that were best at reading humans, at understanding what humans responded to, what made humans provide food and shelter, were the ones that survived and reproduced. Natural selection did not build a tame cat. It built a cat that is very good at getting what it wants from you. Adult cats do not meow at each other. Kittens meow at their mothers. Once they are weaned, they stop. In the wild, an adult cat is almost completely silent in its communication with other cats. The meow is a sound cats invented for humans, not consciously, not planned. But across thousands of generations of cats living alongside humans, the ones that made sounds humans responded to got more food, more warmth, more of everything they needed. And so the meow was refined. Researchers recorded two types of cat vocalizations: ordinary purrs and what they called solicitation purrs, the sound a cat makes when it wants something. The solicitation purr contains a frequency that sits inside the range of a human infant crying, not identical, but close enough that the human brain registers it as something that needs attention. Your cat is not crying. It has learned which frequency makes you move. They tested this on people who had never owned a cat, complete strangers to the sound. They still found the solicitation purr more urgent, more difficult to ignore, more like something that needed a response. The sound bypasses your reasoning. It speaks directly to something older, the part of you that is wired to respond when something small and dependent makes a sound like that. Your cat has been using that part of you since before it was a cat. Crows model causality. They do not just register that something happened. They build a theory of why it happened and what it means. Cats do something similar with individual humans. Your cat knows your schedule, not approximately, precisely. It knows the difference between a weekday morning and a weekend morning by the sounds you make before you get up, the alarm, the absence of an alarm, the way you move. It knows which person in the household is most likely to feed it if it makes the right approach at the right time. It knows which lap is warmest, which human wakes earliest, which one responds to being looked at, and which one needs to be touched. Researchers found that cats tailor their behavior to individual humans within a household. The same cat behaves differently with different people, not randomly, but specifically in ways that appear calibrated to what each person responds to. It is building a model of you. Not in the way a person builds a model, not with language or conscious reflection, but a working map of cause and effect that allows it to predict your behavior and act accordingly. You are part of its environment, and it has spent years learning how you work. The cat in your house is the end point of a strategy that has outlasted everything. 10,000 years, longer than most civilizations, longer than the written word, longer than almost any other voluntary arrangement between species. Egypt worshipped them. Medieval Europe tried to exterminate them and paid for it in plague. Every culture that encountered cats eventually came to the same arrangement. The cat stays inside, the cat gets fed, the cat does what it was going to do anyway. No other species has achieved this on its own terms. Dogs were shaped by humans, their bodies redesigned, their behaviors selected for obedience, their entire existence engineered around human preference. Cats were not. The domestic cat is genetically almost identical to its wild ancestor. The body has barely changed. The brain has barely changed. What changed was the strategy. The cat did not become less wild. It became better at living alongside something wild in a different way, us. And the strategy worked so well, spread so far, survived so many different human cultures and belief systems and climates, that there are now 1 billion domestic cats on this planet. Every single one of them the descendant of a wildcat that decided a human was worth tolerating. Go back to where your cat is right now, still watching probably, or sleeping in the exact spot it has calculated is safest and warmest, or sitting near you at precisely the distance that keeps you aware of it without making you feel crowded. It is not doing any of this consciously. It is not plotting. It does not have a plan. What it has is 10,000 years of ancestors who got this right, who found the frequency that moved you, who learned the distance that kept you close, who figured out that a human fed regularly is a human that keeps you safe. That knowledge is in the body now. It doesn't need to think about it, neither do you. You reach out without deciding to. You respond to the sound without choosing to. You make space on the bed for something that weighs 4 kilograms because somewhere in your own ancient wiring, the signal was received and the answer was yes. The honest question sitting under all of this has no clean answer. If the manipulation is 10,000 years old, if it runs in both of you now, in the cat's behavior and in your response, is it still manipulation? Or is it just what 10,000 years of two species learning each other eventually looks like? The cats are not going to answer that. They never had to.